Welcome to Is It ADHD Your Life? A couple's perspective, where we unravel what it's like to live with ADHD within a relationship. And this week we're asking the question, is it ADHD or is it a fad, attention seeking? Let's talk stigma. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good.
I'm going to start on a high.
Oh, good.
I've got you a little gift.
Oh, lovely.
So, do you remember last pod, you went on and on and on about a clipboard and how I don't allow you to have clipboards?
I do, yes.
Well, I've brought
I'm excited.
I say I brought you, I've made you a gift.
Oh,
Okay?
made me. Oh, I'm less excited. Oh, not sorry.
Homemade with love.
Excited. Oh.
So, for those that are listening on not watching, I've just presented Adam with a clipboard. Branded.
Oh, wow.
That's for you.
Thank you very much.
It's printed out very big.
Professionally branded.
Professionally.
So I've been looking for one all week.
Have you?
But they were branded here.
On the inside?
I don't see the point in it. That's weird.
No.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome. You need some paper to put in it?
Yeah, I do.
Do you want the last page
If
of
only I'd done notes for today.
Yeah, I put that in it so it's like you can...
Thanks, okay. I'll read that.
Okay. But that starts off the pod well because I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be... Well, you've had a bad morning, haven't you? Let's face it.
So I was thinking on the way, like yesterday, what we're going to talk about the past 2 weeks. It's been boring.
Yeah.
Not boring, it's been...
Normal.
Like normal, yeah. There's been no highs or lows or anything. Then this morning happened.
So you let me have a lie in, didn't you?
I did. That was a mistake. That was mistake one.
And do you know what? I was taking it because you've lay in for the past 2 days.
I was working hard all weekend.
You did 3 hours all weekend?
I was grafting.
3 hours. So then you went down with Theo and I came down at 8 o'clock and you were about to lose your mind.
It was a hard morning. And
maybe because you were making him watch 8 out of 10 Cats Just Countdown.
He had these headphones on. I've introduced our 18-month-old son to headphones. My headphones, so he just sits with a big... It's nice. And then time got away from me. Then I had a wee nap on the couch, didn't I? And then I wanted breakfast and decided wanted a McDonald's wrap. And says I didn't want ketchup because it would go all down me, and then grease stripped all down me, so I'm sitting with grease stain in my t-shirt.
Can't see it.
So, and I don't believe that. That's all I can think about. And I've went from the guy that was really nervous about podcasting or being on camera to just sitting with grease stains all down me.
Owning it. Why do you put your clipboard here?
How's that?
I mean, I think you're going to annoy me with it because already you're flapping it.
Down now?
Yeah, I think you should, yeah.
Cheap bit of shit.
Aye.
Thank you.
That was made with love.
Yeah.
So we've just said the past 2 weeks have been absolutely fine.
Yeah, normal. And
however, then we put a social media post out and bam, it has exploded, which is amazing to get traction. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. However, it's not been all nice, has it?
It has not.
And I think that's what started off the topic of today's podcast. I think that you came up with that. Talk to me about that.
So we put the post out for the last episode, and I don't even think people realised that it was a podcast. They just started. All the ADHD haters came out.
Keyboard warriors.
And we were getting it's spoilt child syndrome. It's not a disorder.
Yeah.
It's everybody's got it. Somebody says literally everybody's got it. That just annoyed me. But when these comments start coming through, I was hiding behind the couch. I can't deal with this. I can't. Donna. There's people saying nasty stuff on the internet.
Maybe that should have been a TikTok video.
So, but what it reinforced was the stigma around it, what people think, and and then it took me back to what we used to think.
Yeah.
And so I thought it would be good to talk about.
Let's unravel it and see where we go. Okay, so I've not got my book today. I've got like a few notes and stuff like that.
Somebody made me one.
Go on, let me use it.
Oh.
Thanks.
Indian giver.
I know. And I was like, no clipboards, but actually.
Oh, it looks terrible.
Because I've sellotape.
You might have took the price off the back of it. It's that barcode. Anyway, go on.
Right, okay. So, what I thought we'd do is I thought we'd go through some misconceptions. we talk about some of the comments. So I've got them written down that we got regarding that misconception, and kind of like talk about it from our side as well. So from your side and me as well, because I probably had these misconceptions more than what you did. Especially when it comes to like procrastination and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
Crazy.
So it's interesting because you'll have it from the point of me, whereas I'll have it from the point of, like, say, my son or anybody else that said they had ADHD before I realised.
And
that
your
was
own brain
riddled.
as well, of like, actually, it is this. Does that make sense? Okay. So the first one is ADHD is just bad behaviour or laziness. So we got a comment. I'm not going to name your names or anything like that. No.
And sorry, before you start, I never replied to any of these comments on Facebook.
No, of course not.
Because I was...
you don't want to start.
I was hiding.
Yeah.
And you can't get your expression across on Facebook, so I thought it would be better just to talk about it rather than
The thing
reply.
is as well, you don't want to come across as, or us as a pod, like as a team, we don't want to come across as well as kind of like, I don't know, just being negative and stuff and like and fighting back, because that's not what it's about, is it?
And the fact is, we're asking, the idea of the podcast was for us to say, is it ADHD?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so the comment was, ADHD is spoilt child syndrome, and it reflects the belief that it's just an excuse of bad behaviour or lack of discipline.
Yeah.
People often mistake procrastination, zoning out, or hyperactivity for laziness or being unmotivated.
Okay.
Do you agree?
So, I used to think that.
Yeah.
I would have thought that, without a doubt.
I think more so when... Because I'm going to start using names out there because we've... so when Cameron, before you thought, oh, I've got this, I think probably you just thought he was hyperactive, and he is hyperactive, but like...
Yeah, but I thought he can't have it because he's not naughty.
Yes.
So, and he's not like spoiled or anything. So,
no.
And whereas... say I had been at, obviously I work with kids and stuff, and if I'd seen kids, and if anybody says, oh, it's ADHD, I'd be like, right, okay.
Yeah.
Because that was what I believed. I didn't know anything about it, and that's what I think people think if they don't know anything about it, that it's spoiled child syndrome.
Absolutely.
They're just naughty, and that's it.
Yeah.
But that's it.
No, go on.
No, I was just going to say,
Sorry.
but there's so much, there's so much other stuff going on rather than just the naughty thing. I wasn't naughty.
I'm not naughty. Okay, so I've put my perspective in some of these as well, you see. So for you, you've had moments where you've been overwhelmed by tasks, frozen up completely. So it's not about choosing to be lazy. It's almost like you can't get going.
The laziness thing is that...
Does that annoy you when people think it's laziness?
So, no, I think I'd done that to myself. I think I thought it was laziness. So for years, I just thought I was lazy. I thought, why am I... why do I keep lying on the couch? Why I'm meant to have work to... Yeah, I'm meant to have work to do. Why can I not do it? It's lazy. I'm lazy. And... it wasn't until we looked into this that I thought...
Is it literally because you've got so much to do, you don't know where to start?
Yeah, so it's the paralysis thing, which is huge. And it makes so much sense. So when we read into it, and I'm like, this is me. I said right at the start of this, I don't want to have ADHD.
No.
It's not about, that's what I want. It's about that making sense. And...
yeah, and understanding why you feel like that or why your brain works like that.
Yeah.
So for me, maybe I thought it was laziness at first, because it's almost like, if I can get up and do it, why can't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I could have a list as long as my arm, and I just get on. Get on and do it because I've got to.
Yeah.
Whereas even if you've got to, you will still find that you'll still struggle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But now, obviously, I understand you a bit more, well, a lot more, and I know it's not laziness. And
yeah. But for somebody to say it's an excuse for being lazy, I don't believe that. I think the other side is that you've thought that about yourself for so long. So especially with a late diagnosis, then it can all just make sense. So it's not an excuse. It's like, it's a reason rather than... do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not... you're not making that an excuse. That is the actual reason.
Yeah. I think I've learned that what looks like procrastination is just your trying a way of process things.
Yeah. But that's the overwhelm and the paralysis. So if there's so much going on, then just, I won't do any of that. Just lie down.
Yeah.
I love how much that comes out every week.
What about lying
I
down?
don't just lie and watch Emmerdale. There's only so much Emmerdale one person can watch.
Did you lie down this morning?
I lay down this morning, but he had his headphones on. He was fine.
I meant afterwards when you got to nursery.
No, I stayed up the whole time he was awake.
Okay, the next one then. Disorder, difference, or gift. Right. Do you want me to comment? Somebody comments, ADHD is a higher level of intelligence. It's not an illness or a disorder. So is it a difference? It's not a disability. Some might call you a superhero.
Don't. This is a whole new episode. I don't want to talk about it just now. I don't want the word mentioned.
Says many people with ADHD are highly creative, innovative, and capable of thinking outside the box.
Right. So I read that and I thought the higher intelligence, nah.
Yeah, not me.
But I get where they're coming from, but no. The creative thing. So I actually had a conversation with my son last week saying, do you think you're creative? Because I've never related to that bit, I don't think.
Okay.
And he's like, well, maybe a bit. And I'm like, you like drawing and stuff, don't you? And,
he loves
and magic. And
yeah.
And then I thought about myself, and I'm like, I'm not creative. And then I realised that we're sitting doing a podcast after my weekend of being a children's entertainer, so there's got to be some creativity
there, yeah.
I think so. Creative in the doing side of things,
yeah,
or thinking of, I'm creative.
You come up with a lot of ideas. Might not be able to go through with them,
yeah,
but you do come up with a lot of ideas. So I do think you are like you've got a creative side to you. It's just executing them creative ideas.
The whole gift thing, or genuinely, we're going to make another episode about it because I don't.
I know you hate that, don't you? So somebody else actually said, no, it is literally a disorder, just like autism is a disability.
So
wow.
Yeah, but people have also listed like the whys. So last night I put a post out saying that we were going to be discussing this today, and all it did was reignite people. So these people had forgot they were commenting on it, so I've started commenting on it again.
Yeah.
And they're listing reasons why it's a disability or why it's a disorder and things, and it's something I don't know enough about to really talk about.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to say something's a disability, I feel like it's really harsh. But anyway, so from my perspective, I wrote it down here. So I've seen how it can lead to challenges and like time blindness, forgetting important things, and that can put stress on our relationship. So, but then I also need to think this is something in your brain. And that's when I can't get my head around the fact that it's not I don't know. I hate the words like disorder and disability or, do you know what I mean? So like, I sometimes think like, what is it? What is it that's causing this kind of strain sometimes on us? Do you know what I mean?
How easy is that to think in the moment?
Oh, no, it's not, because I just want to run away with. I could have very easily sunk into your mood this morning, very easily, and I tried so hard to not, because.
Well done, you've done well this morning.
Thanks, because once it happens, it's game over for the both of us. There's actually a question here which I'd like to ask you. Can ADHD be both a disorder and a difference? How do we balance acknowledging its strengths while addressing its challenges? It's deep.
So, I think so.
Okay.
Yes, because it does have strengths and weaknesses. But my thing is, I think the weaknesses outweigh the strengths. So. Or
do you think that people focus on the weaknesses more than they focus on the strengths? Like people from the outside?
So this is interesting. Another comment that came up was somebody saying everybody's a little ADHD. And I think people are using it now. I don't know if it's because I'm more aware, but I think people say, oh, it's my ADHD.
Oh, 100%.
And So it's becoming almost as if
A
it's
trend.
Like, yeah, that was the other thing that came up, and it's a fad, it's a trend. It wasn't about in the 80s. But to come back to the original question, the positive. So I think I've heard people use it in a positive way.
Yeah.
Where they're all over the place, they're thinking of things, but good things.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, well, it's my ADHD, it's away. And I quite like that. That's
So it's funny because on the Good, Bad and Ugly today, I've got some funny stories because I thought to lighten the mood at the end, let's have some funny little snippets. And you're right, a lot of them is people be like, oh, do you know what I mean? Rather than, oh, it's my ADHD. It's the way you look at it, isn't it, I guess?
And I think it's very much two halves, so I think it is a positive thing, but it's also got a lot of negatives with it.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got stigma and its impact on adults. So the comment was, literally everyone has ADHD or autism now. It's become a ridiculous fad. That's that comment. So how does it make you feel when people are like, oh, it's just a fad? Especially as an adult. Because surely before you started looking into it, or we started looking into it, like you say, for going back to the laziness, you just thought, oh, I'm just lazy. And then this came about. And at first you were too embarrassed to go to the doctors and stuff. And do you think it's because of the stigma that it's got, the adults, you should have been diagnosed when you were, 12 or whatever, when you were in school. So now you're an adult. It's more taboo. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think there's much more of a stigma in late diagnosis.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm reading about. That's what people have commented and messaged, that they've not been diagnosed until they were 30s, 40s, 50s. And everything just falls into place. But forget a question. What was the initial thing?
So it was about the fact that it's a fad, and as you get older, you feel more ashamed to kind of come forward.
Yeah, so I think the way the stigma affects people with ADHD is it makes them less likely to try and get diagnosed.
Yeah.
So if you're reading that on the internet and seeing what everybody thinks, you're like, oh, I don't want it. I don't.
Yeah.
Read. Look what I went through before. Once we realised, and I had the initial, I've got it, and then I was like, oh, I can't have ADHD. I'm not 9.
Yeah.
I'm not a 9-year-old boy jumping about the
Bouncing off
classroom.
the couches. Yeah.
So there's that immediate stigma, and then there's what would other people think. We do this podcast. I don't necessarily. I don't really talk to anybody about the podcast because.
Do you know when people started watching it first, you were into yourself, wouldn't you? Because you were so.
I still am, because you don't want it. You don't want to say, "Oh, I've got ADHD." It feels horrible. It feels like there's horrible feelings associated with it. And for your side, imagine saying, "Oh, well, you must have said, oh, he's got ADHD." How does that make you feel?
Like you're a superhero. I feel quite proud that we sit here every other week and talk about us, talk about you, and the fact that there's no holds barred. I love that. I think
I'm quietly proud of that.
So it was, well, I shout it from the rooftops.
No,
I mention the podcast, so obviously I work in a school, and to the other teachers, I mention the podcast whenever I can.
How do you know somebody's got a podcast? They'll tell you.
So when we went to the Hindu as well, I was like, I've got to go straight to record the podcast, and I want people to know about it because I'm not ashamed.
I won't, because it's about ADHD. I've still got the stigma.
Yeah,
I've still got that overriding feeling.
However, there's a thing here that says, on the flip side, advocacy and education are helping to reduce stigma. So people sharing stories like we're doing today can change perceptions. So surely, do you remember that first message we ever got on Instagram that was like, I've just watched your first episode and I'm convinced I've got it. My daughter's going through testing and now I'm going to go because I've watched your podcast and I feel like, do you know what? Yeah, I should go and get tested as well. How did that make you feel?
That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And that is the purpose of this. I keep coming back to when I thought I had it, but I wasn't sure. And I was Googling everything, and there was just no real talk. There's a lot of faff out there on TikTok and YouTube about, You know,
it's like
the videos
5 signs of ADHD.
Yeah,
I put my can of Coke in the microwave. Like,
but there's no real talk. There's no, this is what we're dealing with every day. This is how it is, and so I love that side of things. But I would never say to anybody, I'm self-diagnosed ADHD, because they just know.
So do you think it's hard for you at the moment because you've not got an official diagnosis? So bless me, because you've not got official diagnosis.
Yes.
I think it's harder.
I think it's much harder because one of the comments was, how do you even know if you made this up yourself? And I know, so I'm like, oh, well, podcast cancelled. We're laughing about this, but when it first comes through, that's like terror running through
It's almost
me.
like a kick in the...
Yeah, in the teeth.
That's where my head went, yes.
So of course, but... That's not to say when I get that, it's not an if, it's when I get diagnosed, that I'm going to start, that's me, I'm wearing t-shirts and that.
You will. You'll have a sign above your head, officially ADHD. My favourite thing is going to be when they tell you you've not got it. I'm telling you now, honestly. And you are just lazy and forgetful. Can't we? So I've seen, obviously, how maybe the stigma can help make you second guess yourself as well, and it's rubbish. Like, it's not nice to watch you when you get comments like that. To watch you the way it affects you. I hate it because it's not a very nice feeling.
But people don't think about that, and I mean, we discussed. What can you ever imagine writing a comment on something?
Absolutely not.
Like, I don't understand what goes through people's heads when they think, "Oh, I'll just write about this because I disagree with it," and that's why.
But it's not even on like our podcast.
No,
like,
on
people,
everything.
Like write, and I couldn't ever dream of writing a nasty comment or just like a little like sarcastic comment on social media. Because where do they get the buzz out? Well, I suppose they do get a buzz out of it because they've said it. But what? They must be a bit sick inside and a bit twisted.
Maybe they've got ADHD or something.
Maybe bad ADHD. Maybe there's a good and a bad. Maybe, yeah. But I just, and it's frustrating because I know how hard you will kind of try and make it not affect you. But it does.
Come back to how, I forgot that was the original question again, I think, but it's other people reading that stuff, and people that haven't admitted it because of the stigma, people that don't want to think about it because of the stigma, and they come on to posts like that and see what people are thinking, and that's just gonna that'll set you back 10 years.
Could it be that some of these keyboard warriors
are ouch, you got them.
Trolls. Some of these trolls have actually maybe going through it themselves, don't want to admit it, and like then they think, I'll just troll him because, do you know what I mean? Like if
sorry
just
apologise to the table. So you're gone school bullying mode, like
so.
They're just insecure about their own.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Could it be that they are insecure about their own? Maybe they're like, I've got a few of these symptoms. I could never have it. No, it's not a child syndrome. I'd never got it. But actually, deep down, they might think, actually, maybe I do. But rather than face that head on, they would rather bully other people because it is bullying.
I see where you're going with it. You're right. You're upset with this.
It doesn't. I hate trolling. Hate it so much, and it really upsets me.
Yeah, but in the other, like you've said that word, I won't say it because I don't say it like you.
Trolling.
Yeah.
What do you say? Trolling.
Trolling.
What is the right way?
I don't know.
Answer on a postcard.
Comment below. So I don't necessarily think it was trolling, because I think it's just what people believe. The trolling part is actually writing it out your mouth.
I'm sorry, but somebody said the C word.
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
bad.
actually, that was somebody sticking up for somebody with ADHD.
Oh, right, okay.
That says you're
still don't use
trolling.
that word.
No,
unless you're in the house behind closed doors.
Unless you're Scottish, it's a common Scottish word.
I
don't understand why that's. Anyway, you keep losing my.
Sorry.
I don't know what we're talking about.
The trolling. You don't necessarily think it's trolling.
I don't think it was trolling. I just think it's people that don't understand. I think it's a lack of education. Yeah.
Okay.
And saying that, I don't mean uneducated. I mean, like, it's a lack of education around ADHD because people don't know. I never knew. You never knew. I never knew anything about it.
To be fair, we used to say the same thing, didn't we? Like,
yeah,
well, not them, but we used to say,
you would roll your eyes at ADHD. I still roll my eyes at ADHD sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't believe other people have got it.
To be fair, I think that's sometimes. I think they say they should have like in my place of work. And I'm like, oh.
But you must out with me as well.
Oh, but so sometimes I say to you, don't I've got ADHD. I'm like you're gonna blame it. And I don't. I'm only joking, obviously.
I know. So no, I don't think it was trolling. I think it's people voicing their opinions, which probably don't need to be voiced on a post that you've got no interest in. But it makes sense. It's what people think. So it's how
people
do
don't
you
think about the impact that them words say.
No. I get that. No, I get, and I know you're looking at me because of how I react when I see these comments. I know, I get that, but that's not people. I don't believe people that write stuff like that would think about anybody on the other side of it.
Okay.
It's more about how do you change that? How do you make it so that, like somebody says, literally everyone has got ADHD or autism? No. Because that would mean literally everybody has it. No, what you're hearing is more people saying, I've got ADHD because more people know about it.
Yeah.
There's been an increase in diagnosis. People are now saying it's overdiagnosed. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Go on.
Oh, so overdiagnosed, is it? Is ADHD overdiagnosed? So... Somebody wrote, if the kid is loud or disruptive, it's ADHD. If they're quiet or shy, it's autism. The Reflects believe that the ADHD is being diagnosed too freely.
Okay.
Do you know that kids in school don't get a diagnosis for about 3 years? It takes about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a child who needs help, for example, and I've only come to know this because obviously I've worked in school, that if they're in year 9, for example, and they've started to show symptoms or whatever, or they think, oh, actually, let's get the pathway to diagnosis, they've left school before they've even had a diagnosis.
Yeah.
And it's bad, isn't it? Like
Really bad. I think what's...
I'll give my water, sorry.
All right. I think it's... What's happened is because people became more aware, more people would like to get diagnosed, and because of that there's like been a bottleneck situation where nobody can get diagnosed. And I read one of the comments was about it changing so that it's going to be even more difficult for adults to get diagnosed now.
Of course, because you'll go to the back of the queue because you're an adult and you don't need, which is wrong, because a lot of people, I read somewhere recently that somebody went on medication for it and it's literally changed their life. An adult. So actually, it's not fair that you might get pushed to the back because what's saying it's not affecting you just as much as it's affecting 12-year-old Tommy. Yeah.
You know I'm going to, just as you've said that, I will look for this.
Well, whilst you're doing that, so whilst diagnoses have increased, ADHD is still underdiagnosed in adults, women and minorities. So I think about how many... So... One of the stigmas is that it's only men and boys, right? So I think about how many women may be struggling in silence because they're too scared to come forward. Because as a woman, you just get on with life.
Yeah.
Like, I think more than what men do. I don't know if I think that's just maybe because my household. No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as me, I just get on with it, and I think that's what all women do.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily, as a woman, we don't necessarily fit the typical ADHD profile. Yeah. So for me, it's much. I think it might be much harder for a woman.
I agree. I've listened to other podcasts.
So you used to listen to a podcast where it was like a woman and a man, wasn't it?
Yeah, I still listen to it. It was called "You're Wrong About ADHD," and this is a lady in her 50s, I believe, who was late diagnosed, and she talks a lot about that, about how because you can get the symptoms mixed up with other things, even like hormonal things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lady things. So yes, I believe it's more difficult as a woman, and it goes back to the little boy thing. You think ADHD, you think little boy. Yeah. So women, older men, nearly impossible.
Did you find anything?
No.
Oh, what was you looking for?
Right, so it was the comments. So basically it was you saying about becoming medicated. So it was somebody had commented saying they believe their whole life they believed that they were like lazy, not good enough and stuff like that
Yeah.
until they were medicated at 53.
Wow.
And
Maybe this is where I read it, actually.
it completely, it changed their life. Oh, there we go. I've got it right. It was 43. So it was, I was late diagnosed at 43. The treatment has been revolutionary. Revolutionary. And if I'd had access to that as a teen, my life would have panned out very differently. That's what I'm trying to say. It's blighted my life. So that is shocking.
Yeah.
Why is it not treated like any other illness? If you were...
Is it an illness?
Oh,
that's another discussion. I think.
Hello. Illness is probably the wrong word, but is it? No, because it's not mental illness either. Is it?
So why is it not treated like?
Like if you broke your leg.
Yeah.
So if you break your leg, you go to the hospital. You get a. You don't call it a stookie, do you? You get a stookie. You get a cast on your leg and it gets sorted. If you're having all these things going on mentally, why can you not go to the doctor, explain that? The doctor says, sounds like ADHD.
Let's do some testing.
Let's try some tablets. Let's test it. Let's get you diagnosed. Let's try some tablets.
You can't just throw tablets at people.
No,
obviously, it would have to be. And I think a lot of it as well maybe comes down to money.
Of course it is, yeah. But that's wrong. That so many people. Oh, I'm off.
You got passion.
Why are people suffering like that? Because they can't get the medication. Imagine, like, well, don't need to imagine it.
That'll be you. And I hope it is revolutionary for you.
Yeah.
First time. I hope you can. I hope that what you're looking for, you find.
No, but then imagine if you get diagnosed ADHD, you try this medication or you try these strategies or whatever, then there's that thought of, what could my life have been like 20 years ago?
Oh, you can't. I know that's really hard to not do, but you can't, like...
I agree, yeah.
I know, but...
So imagine...
But you know what? We'd have never met, probably.
I'm going to top up my coffee.
Well, I've got a discussion point for us. How do we ensure...
Discussion point. Tell me you're using
No. I've not used ChatGPT. No. Come on now. How do we ensure accurate diagnosis without over-generalising or dismissing ADHD as a trend? Which I thought was quite interesting.
Sorry, not a word.
Have you got ADHD? How do we ensure accurate... I hope you drop that coffee, don't you? How do we ensure accurate diagnosis without over-generalising or dismissing ADHD as a trend?
Okay.
So how do we ensure that we are accurately diagnosing people and not just everyone because it's just a trend at the minute?
So this is interesting. I am TikTok diagnosed.
Dr. TikTok.
But realistically, and I read something about this morning as well, that there's a lot of things people say in TikTok and you take their word for it.
Yeah, of course.
And you don't think to look up the medical journals.
No.
So they just say, these are the symptoms of ADHD. And you're like, oh, I've got that.
You send me numerous TikToks about, oh, look at this, this is me. And like...
It was something, I don't know if it was, I think it was some... the way somebody was holding their pen. Guys, show me how you hold your pen. Yeah, that's not ADHD, that you've not got it.
Oh, right, okay. That's like, oh, you're all front, it must be a boy and stuff like that, isn't it?
But somebody was saying it turns out I hold my pen the ADHD way. And
then
I was
no, I'm not having that. I'm not having it.
So then I'll go, oh, I hold my pen the ADHD way.
Oh, stop.
I didn't know that was an ADHD symptom. But then you just...
Stop this right now.
You just automatically think, oh, that 19-year-old girl on TikTok was right. I've got it.
I'm banning you from TikTok. I'm banning you. If that's the way the world's going, then it is going to be a bloody trend. And
well, I think it is. I think the people. That was a big part of how we came across it as well. Once I started looking.
Yeah, but official symptoms like off the NHS website, not how you hold your pen.
I hold my pen the ADHD way, and that means I've got it. Please. Have you ever seen me holding a pen?
No.
ADHD.
please, for the next episode, come with like a list of like...
Oh, no, but some of them are... the videos I send you, and I'm like, that's me. But because it's me, does that mean it's ADHD, or does it mean I've just got personality traits similar to that guy on TikTok?
Possibly could be.
So that's why it's important for you to look into the actual symptoms on the NHS website, which we've done.
Yeah.
And we went through all the official ones, which ended with, do you hold your pen like this?
And you filled out the questionnaire, and you've gone down the appropriate channels.
So back to the question, I think it's down to the people that are diagnosing it.
Yeah.
I know there was a Panorama programme out, which I've not watched, but I heard a lot about it, with one of the companies that do diagnosis, and they were saying that they were just reeling them out, basically. And that's not the case. It's got to be an in-depth thing. That is too much a discussion for us. I was going to say, why would they overdiagnose it, but we know that, so that it's medication and money, and it all comes down to money at the end of the day.
Of course it does, yeah.
That side of things. But the important thing is
that you hold your pen.
How you hold your pen.
Never heard anything. It's like, well, to my life, honestly. I'm just looking over how Andy holds his pen, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
He's got it.
Okay, I've got a few others. No, maybe not as in depth, but I've got a few others. So, ADHD is just a childhood disorder.
Okay.
It's not true.
No, that's...
It's all about hyperactivity.
So, this was massive for me.
Yeah.
Because when somebody said, or I read, that the hyperactivity does not need to be visible.
Yeah.
It can be in your mind. And that blew my mind.
Whereas when ADHD started to come about, it was all about the hyperactivity on the outside, wasn't it? Yeah.
The most hyper I get is the leg shaking, which is constant.
Yeah.
That's me on hyper mode. So
our producer is just like he's nodding his head and everything. And
so it's the constant leg shaking is about as hyper as I get on the outside. I'm not a jumping about until parties.
Yeah, until you
I'm not a jumping about person. But my head, the videos you see where this is what a TikTok bit, this is what an ADHD person's head sounds like. And it's just, that's me. That is constant. Just overthinking
like
everything,
inside.
And I'll be thinking about a million different things at once. And when I read that the hyperactivity can be in your mind as well as visible or instead of visible, that was it. That was a game changer for me.
I think that's probably like a bit of a turning point, and definitely. This is interesting. ADHD is caused by poor parenting.
Okay. I could have been guilty of thinking that beforehand.
Okay. Because you just thought naughty boy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not naughty.
No,
but just like not enough discipline, or
it's difficult, isn't it? Because you don't want to say anything. We need people to get what we're talking about the naughty boy thing. It's just what people
it's not
say.
Naughty.
It's not naughty. Yeah. It's just if you see somebody being wild.
Okay, so
basically.
I'll give you an example.
Right.
Cameron, I'm going to use Cameron, okay? Not a chance in hell does he at his mum's bounce all over the couches.
No.
Right? But at our house, forever bounce all over the couches. Okay. Right? So, and I think that's because you don't tell him to stop enough.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm not saying it's bad parenting.
So I've given him it.
Yeah. It's not an excuse, Cameron, okay? But obviously, at his mum's, he gets told he's not allowed to bounce on the couches. Whereas at our house,
fun times.
You don't care. So it's not poor parenting at all. But that's just an example. Do you know what I mean? Of like.
So another example would be at a party. Before any of this, if I'm at a party, and there's a child running amok, just going mad all over the place, I can see the parent not doing anything. Yeah. And then they come up and say, "Oh, sorry, he's got ADHD." Now,
I bet inside you would have punched them.
So, before I knew anything about ADHD, I would be like, "Oh, really? Has he?" And you think, so then I would have been guilty of maybe blaming the parent.
Yeah.
and thinking, well, they've not done anything about it. So, but there's so much more to it
Of
than just
course.
that. So you can't say it's just poor parenting, because there's so much more going on in that child's mind,
Yeah.
rather than just the hyperactivity.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think you can blame parents at all.
My dad used to always say when I was young, growing up, if somebody was like, a kid was naughty, it's like, blame the parents. That was all he said, like, blame the parents, blame the parents. I think I've been brought up to, like, kind of believe that as well. Whereas actually, you need to look at the bigger picture. It's not always the parent, is it?
No.
It's social. Nowadays, it's like, it's social media. It's the maybe who the kid is hanging around with.
Yeah.
That can also affect how their brain works and stuff, can't it? Interesting. I think this is the last one. Medication is a quick fix or a cure.
Okay. But why should it not be? Why is that a thing? Why is it bad that you would like to try medication, or you're on medication for it? It's not bad that you take medication for anything else.
No,
It's
true.
not bad that you take medication for your
High blood pressure
or stomach problems or what. No, you or me personally. I mean, don't. But do you know what I mean? You wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think, oh my goodness, you take tablets for your high blood pressure. Yeah, I do, because there's something not right. So
can I just step in with something else as well here? So depression, for example. People then go on to antidepressants, and I think there's a little bit of stigma around that because people don't want to admit. Do you think it's like kind of along the same lines?
I think it's the exact same. I think it is. I think ADHD now is what depression was 10 years ago.
Ah, yeah.
Because
that's the line of the podcast.
Do you want? Wait a minute. Should I look sad for the clip? That wasn't sad. That was.
You need to write that down.
I looked like I hadn't took my medication there. Yeah, why can you not just the depression thing? I think 10 years ago people never knew what depression was.
No.
People were man up, get over it.
Yeah, a million %.
Whereas now, if you want to tell somebody to man up, it's a no go. So I think in 10 years' time, ADHD will be normalised the way depression is.
Yeah.
And quite rightly so, because it's something that's not right.
Yeah.
So whether it's depression, ADHD, broke your leg, your stomach issues, your high blood pressure, if the tablets are going to cure you, take them. But that being said, the medication isn't for everybody, and I've done enough research to know that's...
Well, we've got a friend who went on medication and then came off it because it wasn't agreeing with him.
Yeah.
And now he's trying a different medication and seeing how that works. And it is all about, because, for example, high blood pressure, there is numerous medication you can take, and not one size fits all, is it? So it is about trial and error. And
I think that's a massive part of the diagnosis process. Then you go through titration, I believe.
What's it called?
Titration.
Right, okay.
I hope it's called that. And
Google
because
it
they
later.
try different stuff and they try you on different things.
Okay.
But why is there a stigma about taking medication for that?
No, it's crazy, isn't it? Because people are going to be like, well, it's not going to kill you. Well, it's not about that. It's about balancing.
And it's about balancing, dealing with it.
Yeah.
Same as you would take tablets for anything. So
do you think it could be like a placebo tablet? Do you think if I came up to you and was like, try these, but actually they were nothing, and do you think it would make you think a different way?
What do you think?
But I think with you, yeah.
Of course it would. I'd be bouncing off the walls.
I think it'd be cured. I might hide some paracetamol. Like, oh no, I might just give you some vitamins. Adam, I've got these in the black market.
Do you remember the £3 being in?
Oh my God, yeah.
vitamins?
The cure ADHD. Why don't you try them?
Of course, a placebo would work, but only for so long, only a couple of days.
Yeah,
then
of
I would
course.
realise.
You'd be down in the dumps.
Remember magnesium?
Oh my God. Lion's mane. Ashwagandha.
No, that's still good. Space Goods. Link in bio.
Okay, so we've gone through kind of like the stigma. I'm just realising time. So we've gone through the stigma. I think we could talk about this for absolutely ages. There might be a part 2. Who knows,
Definitely
1 week.
the next time we get attacked.
Yeah.
We never actually get attacked. ADHD get attacked.
I know. But don't you feel like it's our fault because we put the post out and stuff? So we've gone through kind of the stigma, the fads, maybe what people think, and especially what we think as well. So just reality. I've got some points written down here that I wrote myself.
Oh, good. Chat GPT.
It's a neurological condition. I'm just interested to see if you agree with them, okay? It's a neurological condition, not a choice.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. It affects executive function, planning, time management, focus.
Massive.
Emotional regulation is a big part of ADHD.
100%.
That's big in our house.
Yeah.
Big. There are different types of ADHD. So inattentive, hyperactive, impulsive, combined.
Yeah.
And that's what you were talking about before, about hyperactive on the outside, hyperactive on the inside. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Everyone's experience is unique.
Definitely.
And I think that's a big one that people need to get their head around, that not everyone is just one type of ADHD. It's a minefield out there, isn't it? And ADHD can bring strengths like creativity, hyperfocus alongside challenges.
Yeah, there are strengths involved. Superpower next week.
Okay, cool.
And also, because it wasn't big in the 80s doesn't mean it's not a thing.
Well, yeah.
That's just, I agree. That got to me, that one.
Okay, brilliant. I think we've do you know what? I think we've just scratched the surface. I don't even think
there's
gone deep.
You could go for hours and hours about it.
Let's do our 5-minute moan.
Oh.
You've not got one, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Well, I've got one.
Okay.
This week it's been brought to my attention. A couple of times in the past 2 weeks, you've walked out the living room without taking your ball out to the kitchen. And I've come in from work and your breakfast bowl is just on the side.
It feels like a repeat.
Yes, it is. Because I'm moaning about it again because it's doing me head in.
Very sorry.
Man's a quick one, you see.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I've actually noticed that myself. And I'll be better at it.
You've got a bit lazy the past couple of weeks.
Yes, I have.
And but even not just your breakfast bowl, but even I'm going for a shower now, and your bowl will still be there.
Yes.
But you walk past the kitchen to take.
Yes.
So
that slipped. I'm sorry.
And I don't even want you to take my bowl in.
No, I'm sorry. I know you're not angry. You're disappointed.
But just take your own.
Okay.
And just whilst I'm on it, please, 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 can we bring back the dish towels to the kitchen?
You can do if you can find them. Yes.
Nothing worse when I've done them dishes and turned around to dry my hands and there's nothing to dry my hands on. Anyway, that's my 5-minute moan. I don't want to dwell on it, but thanks for listening.
Okay. I completely forgot about 5-minute moans, and I don't want to go on about it because I would rather get in a good, bad and ugly.
Okay.
But it's as if if you think that I'm not changing the baby, the baby's nappy, what you like to do is get that baby's nappy as close to me as possible. So if I'm not changing the baby's nappy, you'll basically change the baby's nappy on my knee or right next to me or at my feet.
I'm just showing you the process of what
I'm eating my dinner.
I do know dinner time.
You done it at dinner the other night.
Once.
And I deliberately never said anything because I was saving it for this moment.
I'm just showing you how it's done because maybe you forgot. Okay.
Well, I seem to be closer to the action than you.
We're going through a bad time changing the baby's nappy at the minute because he likes to stand up and stuff.
If you could just be spatially aware while you're doing it, that'd be great. Thank you.
I hear you, and I'll take it on board.
Thank you.
Okay. I can't remember what last times were to touch on them, but anyway, let's do our good, bad and ugly. So, you asked me to get some about hyperfocus, but I'm not going to dwell on them at the minute if that's okay.
No, that was for the bonus.
Oh, sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Can we edit that bit out, please? Okay, so I found some funny stories because I just feel like it's been a lot on dwelling on how people don't believe in stuff, but I thought let's lighten the load a little bit. So I've got some funny stories for us that people have sent in. So I forgot I was listening, and I thought you could relate to these. I forgot I was listening to a voicemail message and started answering to it like I was talking to the person on the phone. People around me were looking at me like, have you been there and done that before?
I remember when it was a thing that people used to do their voicemail messages by going, hello? And then talking. That was horrific.
I hated that. Hated it. Okay, so this one sounded like Our House, right? And I loved it. She says, if we're feeling down, I'll get my fiancé to hold onto my shoulders while I choo-choo from the bedroom to the living room and back again, because just walking from the living room place to place is boring. I feel like we would do something like that.
No, you might try. No, I'm not getting involved in that choo-choo train.
I loved that one. I thought that was brilliant. This guy, he says he put his daughter's fish fingers in the oven, set the timer, came back when the timer went off, spent the next 5 minutes trying to figure out what happened. Didn't turn the oven on.
Okay.
I bet you've been there.
I've been the opposite, where I've
Oh,
left the oven on,
yes,
and fish fingers have disintegrated.
Yes.
And I've been there a couple of times.
Okay, so I feel like this would be you as well. I was driving to pick my mum up from a relative's house. Missed the turn off on the motorway.
Obviously.
Ended up in heavier traffic. Managed to make a U-turn several miles later. Missed the turn off again. This time, kept driving the opposite direction. Several miles up, made another turn around, came back, missed the turn off again. Now I'm in terrible traffic. Missed the turn off 3 times after wasting 2 hours circling around trying to find it. Went home, called the mum and said, get a taxi. That would be you.
That sounds like me getting to Asda, doesn't it?
Oh my God, yes. Missing the turn off for Asda, and then you'd like 3 times, no, I'm done, going home. That's when I think the brain thinks absolutely like, sod this. Like,
I use a sat nav to get everywhere, even places that I know, kind of know where I'm going, because it's one less thing to think about. So I don't do directions. Do
you know what I thought about actually when I read that one? Was, do you remember we went to Butlins and we missed the turn off to go off the motorway and we ended up in traffic?
Yeah.
Do you remember it? And that's what made me think about that.
Yeah.
This is another one of you. Okay, so on the phone, realised I needed to wash a shirt that was on the bed, right? And you throw your shirt anywhere and everywhere when you're coming from work, don't you? Finished the video they were watching, stood up, went to the bathroom to get dirty washing, went to put it on, forgot the shirt. Walked back to the room, forgot why they were in there, thought it was a good idea to watch some more videos, remember what I need. 10 minutes later, realised I was doing washing, walked out halfway to the washer, realised forgot the shirt and had to repeat to themselves, walking back upstairs, grab the shirt, until I finally did it.
This is why I thought I had Alzheimer's. It's exactly that kind of behaviour.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, that's how the brain works. But like, I mean, sometimes I forget what I've gone into a room for, but
it's another level.
The level. They were our good, bad and ugly, mainly funny this week. But if you've got any stories for us, you can send them to adhdorlife@gmail.com, or you can comment on our social medias.
We loved all the comments. Comments are really important.
Of course.
And I love getting everybody's perspective on things.
Yeah.
Even if it's not what we think, it's good to see other people's views on it as well.
Definitely.
And it's definitely been a talking point.
And I'll stop calling you all trolls.
And just be careful how you're holding your pen.
Yeah. If you want to follow us on social media, then they'll pop up on the screen right now. But yeah, for everything else, that's it for this week. Thank you very much. See ya.